Hello and welcome back. This video is a little older, from the middle of 2020 I think. I had just finished a big project with a lot of sculpting and wanted to tackle something simpler to de-stress. I got a few Bratz dolls in a lot and wanted to try repainting one. I really don't know who this is, but her hair is in really good shape, and I just happen to have a headless Barbie Fasionista body laying around that matches her skin tone. I actually really like her face and the glitter, but in order to make her my own, it's gotta go. Getting into the crevice of her lips was pretty difficult. I scraped most of the hard to reach paint away with a toothpick. The Barbie neck peg is really cumbersome, so I trim it down a bit with some old wire cutters. This piece is really all you need anyway. As is, the Bratz head won't fit the thicker Barbie neck. And just a forewarning here, this part was a no-no. I never opened a neck hole before and mistakes were made. I should have used a craft knife and whittled away the plastic a little at a time instead of trying to brute force it with my rotary tool. I realized at this point that I opened the neck hole too far. The old neck peg was too small to hold the head on, so I finished cutting it off until only the ring was left. I stretch it open with a thick needle, then I thread a piece of elastic through the ring. I string a wooden bead that is just a little larger than the new neck hole and knot it tightly. I tie the elastic around the base a few more times to limit the head's movement. It looks like it should fit nicely now. I give her an initial spray of Mr Super Clear. After she's dried for an hour or two, I start the face up by sketching in the eye shape. I didn't have much of a plan, but I did know I wanted the eyes to be rounder than the mold. So I am drawing pretty far outside the guides here. I'm using my Stabilo Carbothello pastel pencils for the entire face, except for some acrylic paint at the end. After I'm happy with the general shape, I select a darker pencil and go over the lash line. I use a tortillon to blend the pencils out for softer transitions. Bratz faces are pretty different than what I'm used to, but I wanted her to have a more defined nose. I do my best to contour the edges and to draw in new details. I honestly really like how the face looked at this point, and I could have stopped here. I'll have to do a softer featured face sometime in the future. I use a cream pencil for the highlights and contouring of the skin. I go over areas that are raised, like the brow bone, eyelids, the nose, and even the chin, to give it a 3D look. I've tried making a few dolls with purple eyes, but I've failed so far to achieve the color range that I was looking for, so I really wanted to give it another go. I outline her lash line and irises in black and start drawing in her lashes. Then I darken the outer edges of her pupils. I add highlights to the irises with cream and white. I tried adding some teal and pink to her eyes for color variation. Using a dark purple, I add shadows to her lips. And freckles! I think freckles are adorable, so this girl got a smattering of them. I use varying shades of brown for realism and add softer specks with my tortillon. With a dark gray pencil, I add shadows to the whites of the eyes and draw in eyebrow hairs. I add some highlights to her cheeks, trying not to cover up the freckles and to add a bit of skin texture. Using a brown that's a bit darker than her skin tone, I contour her cheekbones. Now that her eyelids are strongly defined, I draw in some eyeshadow using a mint green. Then I darken the lashes and add a few to the bottom. With white acrylic paint and a sculpting tool, I paint in a streaked catch light to her eyes. This is easy to draw over while it's still wet. I continue to brighten up the highlights and to shape the area around her eyes. Then I draw in small upper reflections from the sky in her irises. With some purple acrylic paint in the color Petunia, I dab in a few highlights. After a final coat of MSC, it's time to gloss her eyes and lips. Most of the time when I do a repaint, I do it with the head on the body if I can. It reduces stress on the neck and can help prevent cracking a face that I just spent days repainting. I find it so satisfying to unwrap a doll's hair after finishing the face. It's the first time I get to see how everything looks together. Because I wanted to keep this project fast and easy, I decided not to make custom clothes. Instead, she gets to borrow a few pieces from my stock. She has a top from Skylar from Rainbow High and pants from Kenna from the Wild Hearts crew line. She's also getting Kenna's shoes, but they're a little big for her Barbie feet. So to make them fit, I'll be filling them in with blue tack. I have no idea which shoe is what for what foot, but I can't tell the difference. Her jacket is from Jade from Rainbow High as well. I do wish this doll's hands were removable. It would have made dressing her so much easier. Painting this face mold was so much fun. There's a lot of room to experiment and to try out different styles. I know I'll be repainting another one of these dolls in the future, but I'll probably take the next one in a different direction. Looking at the final photos, I feel like I made the eyes a little too close together, but it's pretty similar to drawings I was doing at the time, so I probably just liked the look back then. I am finally happy with some purple eyes that I painted though. Let me know what you think about this hybrid in the comments. Do you like the proportions? Like this video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to see more. Bye!